How you doing, gang? Spada here, and today we are taking a look at, well, something really big. Today we are taking a look at Ultimate Optimus Prime. I mean, look at this thing, it's huge! This box is massive. I mean, this thing is huge. So, just gonna give you a look at the box here. It's got 3 modes. What's on the bottom? Looks like leader class figures and a deluxe side swipe for some reason. And then this side. So let's go ahead and take a look at ripping them open. So before we get to the review proper, I wanted to show you guys the instruction manual. Now, it looks sizable, right? Well, the instruction manual is, well, let's just say it's ultimate sized. That is the instruction manual, both sides. So, yeah, pretty big. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. Alright folks, here we go. We are starting off in truck mode, or semi or tractor trailer as they're known here in the US. I believe they are called lorries in England. Anyway, so this sucker's huge. I mean, this sucker is big. It is exactly 19 inches from tip to tail. Now you may be wondering what's going on with the trailer. It looks a little off. Well, I've transformed this thing about a dozen times now, and I suck at transforming the trailer. I really just suck at transforming the trailer, and you'll see why here in a little bit, but I'm not very good at it, I will be completely honest, and that might just come with practice. But I have to say, I am really impressed with this mode. I really like the look of it. The proportion is a little off, though, compared to tractor to the trailer. The tractor should be a little bit bigger. I believe my good friend Optimus has done a comparison on Twitter with Revenge of the Fallen Prime, or I believe it might have been Movie 1 Prime. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those figures here at the house, so I wasn't able to to swap them out. That's my only complaint in this mode, is just the proportions are a little off, but I really don't care because it looks awesome. I mean, it's big, it's impressive, it just looks awesome. I just need to get better at transforming the trailer. And I'll show you where I keep screwing up in a little bit, but I just got to get better at it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cab. And we're taking a look at the tractor part of the tractor trailer, and it looks pretty good. I really like it. It's prime. Now, the one thing I do find a little bit weird is it looks normal here, but the back, you see a little bit of the robot kibble in here, and it looks a little thin. It looks a little small, but it's fine. It doesn't really bother me all that much. I just wanted to point that out. The transformation is really, really cool, I have to say. It's pretty unique, at least I think it is. And the transformation starts off by going into the back here and unpegging these covers and just kind of rolling them out of the way. And then we could take the sides or grab the gas cans and just pull them up. Now this you really have to be careful with because these hinges up here are already, on my figure at least, are already showing signs of severe wear. That really worries me, but there's not much I can do. So we're going to fold them up onto the top of the cab and then collapse them down. We'll do that for both sides. And once we do that, we can take these end bits, fold them, and then fold them up completely like this. Now, once we're here, we're going to want to come into the front and kind of push the front down a little bit and grab the middle of the, well, we'll do that in a bit. So instead of doing that, because I've gotten things out of order, come under here to the foot ladders and just push out. And that will pop those bits up. And then we can come up to the front, push that down a little bit, and come under here, and this sticks like you wouldn't believe. And flip the middle part of the front window glass out like that. Just leave it up. Then come under here and pull back to free up the bottom of the feet from inside the cab. And then rotate that up. And there are 2 pegs back here. And we can unpeg and stretch the feet straight out. When we do that, we can collapse the back of the vehicle mode up into what is the cab. And that will actually snap into place into some grooves, like that. You think, it sounds like you're going to break things, but you're really not. So one thing I forgot to show you is when you break it apart like that, or remove the feet, you have to slide that whole rear section up. Doing that will allow you to swing this whole section down eventually. But first, we come under here, split that up, and as soon as you move one of these pieces, the head will pop up as you saw. So we'll get those up. Those will become the arms. Grab that and just move that up. Collapse it down. And there are pegs here and peg holes under there. Peg it in. And fold the front of the figure up like that. Or I'm sorry, the underside up like that. Get him standing up. Come into the front and fold these panels, or come into the front of the arms and fold these panels down, and then slide out the fists. And actually the arms move up and lock into place. Oop. The one side locks better than the other, believe it or not. And there we go. And just get him moved up. And this piece up here, this piece, which we were left alone, just fold that flat. And here we have Ultimate Prime in basic robot mode. And he looks okay. I think this mode bothers me a little bit in the fact that it just looks a little odd proportion-wise. Figure does look a little weird. You've got these very big gorilla-like arms, which I don't care for. I don't like the arms. Having the wheels, the front wheels hanging off like this, I just don't care for that. I think that is really my only issue in this mode. He does have a backpack, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. We've had Primes with backpacks plenty of times before, so that doesn't bother me at all, but the arms do bug me a little bit. But I understand, because of the nature of this transformation, and because of the nature of the transformation we're about to see, Hasbro didn't have a choice. They just did not have a choice. The other thing that irritates me is these shoulders. Again, I can deal. It does irritate me, but I'm just, you know what? I can deal because of the final product and the way the transformation works. It just, I don't like it, but I can deal with it. So, moving on to the figure itself, posability-wise, his head does move side to side. Unfortunately, it is not on a ball joint. He has very limited movement there. Arms, sliding joint, and then a sliding joint there. Swivel joint in the upper arms, and then his arms can bend just about 90 degrees. Legs, swivel joint there, slider joint on the hip, 90-degree movement there. Very limited movement in the feet, but there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in a little bit. Overall, the figure isn't bad. It's definitely not the best Prime, but it's not the worst either. I really think that there could have been more done with this figure, but it's not bad. It doesn't bother me given what the overall package is. So that I will forgive it for. I really wish there were a little bit more of a heel here. That would offset some of the balance issues that the figure has, but I think that's specific to mine because these legs are pretty loose. I mean, they move very easily. Compared to a leader class figure, he's significantly shorter. This is a leader class Sentinel Prime. So he is significantly shorter. So, now that we have taken a look at the overall robot mode, oh, and I did want to mention that I do really like the look of the face. I really like that. So, now that we've had a taste of the robot mode in general and the trailer mode, well, speaking of the trailer, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we have the trailer, the piece de resistance. Okay, well, not really, but it's the trailer. And this sucker's big and it is heavy. This weighs a good pound or two. So to transform it, first thing we're going to do is come under the bottom of the unit and actually grab this whole bottom section and just kind of wiggle it till this pops off. More about this later. So the rest of the trailer is pretty much a shell. It really is, and I mean that wholeheartedly. This is pretty much a shell. To transform it, we're going to stand it up on its end. First thing we're going to do is come under back here and pop these sides off. This is really important. And then unpeg these bits. Now, I do have to admit, I suck at transforming the trailer back into trailer mode, but everything pegs in really well. Once we do that, we can then move it, flip those pieces up like that. And when we do that, that allows us to come right here, grab this whole section, and flip it up, and like that, and open these panels up. And it's a double hinge in there that's really tight on mine. So double hinge it, and it'll sit like that. It does snap into place into those two bits. And there's some tabs there. So you just kind of have to, can't really see what you're doing, but you just kind of have to get it in there. All right, so what do we do next? And I apologize for the abrupt camera angle change, but I had to do it because I was kind of sucking there for a little bit. So, like I was saying, we have to just get in here and unhook these somehow. And then we can kind of split them apart eventually, which nothing on this figure wants to come apart easily. I will admit that right now. There we go. So just get those out of the way. I'm turning the whole figure around, or the whole unit around. We've got this collapsed body armor, you could say. So first off, we'll come in here and break the legs apart. And then these units here will flip out and fold them up like that. And you see the double hinges here? Fold that up like that. And then we will fold out one of the fists. Fold these red pieces out like that. Next, get it ready for prime. Fold these down. Fold that down. And fold these parts open. And, well, we're ready for prime. So let's go ahead and push this off to the side or back here. So to get prime ready, the only thing you really have to do is take the feet, fold them down, and when you get to about that angle, you can slide them over so that they point straight down. And that's really all you do to get prime set up and ready to go. Now, there are a bunch of connector points on the back here, or on this power suit. You're going to have a connector point up here, connector point down here, on the fists, and on the feet down here. So what I like to do is I like to start by just getting him connected in. So we'll go ahead and put him down, and there's a hole right here on the back of the figure that pegs in right there. So we will start by just getting it in. And it isn't going to be pretty, but we'll clean the rest of it up. So just gonna get it in there. And believe it or not, he actually goes in pretty easily. It just takes a minute or so to get everything lined up, push them down, and plug them in. So there we go. There's that. Next, we'll get the feet pegged into place. And that does take a couple of seconds to do. So we can now fold the feet up. We can now push this in, and there are holes on either side of Prime, right there and right there. And these peg into them. So we'll move that up. And just get it lined up, and it pegs in really easily. Last, bring this part around to go over the shoulder. And just get it so that this piece fits snugly over the wheel well. And close it, and make sure to get his big arse fist to peg into his normal fist. So do that again over here. Just get it lined up. Make sure it's bent in just enough. Oops. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ultimate Prime. So I will be the first to admit, this thing's freaking huge and kind of bonkers. But I've got to admit, I really dig the detailing on this. I think I kind of like it. How does it compare against a leader class figure? Well, towers over a leader class figure. Posability in this mode is, I'm going to say, limited. It just is. You can split the legs open. There's really not much you could do with bending the legs because this is a solid piece of plastic right here. So that's limited. The arms do bend. I mean, they bend quite smoothly. They have a little bit of in and out movement, very limited, unfortunately, because if you move them out too far, the fists will just pop off. But other than that, I mean, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. One last thing. This! So, it, as you saw, has sounds. I have no idea how I managed to make that go off, but this can be stored on the back of the figure. It can be stored, actually, these pegs peg in right here, and it can be stored like that to act as a, well, I don't know what that would be. I'm assuming those are jet thrusters right there. But then it can also be deployed in robot mode as what I like to call the Matrix cannon. And it does have lights and sound gimmick. Which, I'm sorry, I don't like the sound. The lights are pretty cool though. So to actually deploy it, what you do is you come under here and you pull out that, and what you're going to get is this pretty cool little sight. So you get it like that, and you fold that piece up. So what you do, well, you can fold that piece up or you can keep it down, whatever you want. What you do is you kind of come around here, put the blue part over the head, and then this part has a hole in the back, which is that there's a peg up here. So you just, once you do get it pegged in, you can just safely drop it over Optimus's face and extend the arms so that he can hold it. You just got to get everything lined up into place. And prepare to be blasted in the face. I think this set as a whole is pretty cool. It's bonkers, but I like it. Overall, I have to say this set is worth it. I'm really glad I picked it up. It's just like the movies, completely off the wall, ostentatious, and kind of fun. It's absolutely bonkers. Is it worth $90? No. Not really. I can't really say that it's worth $90. $50? Yes. This is definitely worth $50, and I really dig it. I think it's a great set. I think it's a lot of fun. I picked up Ultimate Optimus Prime at Amazon.com. He is showing up there now. He should be showing up at other online retailers soon. I really dig him. I think he's just absolutely bonkers, but that's what makes him cool. So this is Spada saying this one, I think you're going to want to pick up.